first round pick. Hey, throw that list away. All right.
Why are we around? Let
Yo, welcome to the show. It's a Chiefs Blitz night. Breaking down the plays, keeping everything tight. From my homes to the defense, we give you the scoop. Real talk, real stats, we the ultimate troop. This ain't no game, it's our passion on display.
The baby himself.
Chiefs Blitz podcast, real fans unite. Every touchdown scored, we ignite the night. From tailgate chatter to post-game debate, we love our Chiefs, yes, never too late.
I would even bring MVS back in the middle of the season.
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar, sponsored by ChiefsBlitz.com, presented by UnderdogFantasy.com. Here's your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
That's right. Welcome back.
We should have a more crispier.
What's that?
I was saying we should have a more crispier shirt. I got my internet upgraded, so we will see if the show quality is much better. That's what it is.
Wow. Have you gone like satellite or what are we doing?
He's doing the
Or
old
just
satellite
higher
version.
speed cable?
That's it. All right, guys.
Yeah,
You're
higher
watching the
speed
Four Guys
cable.
in a Bar podcast, presented by ChiefsBlitz.com. I'm your host, Nick Athan, with Hense Todd, Lou Montagna, and Andre Tillman. It is Wednesday. I believe the Chiefs are starting their OTA sessions, so it'll be interesting to see who shows up and who doesn't. But before we get started on today's wild, crazy show, let's talk about our sponsor, Underdog.
I'm sorry, Nick catch me off guard so quick.
Hey, man, you got to go with the flow, man. I'm quick.
All right, here goes the Underdog, guys. Baseball is back.
That's right. Baseball is back on Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you cash in today. You can play the Pick'em game. It's very similar to what you did with the NFL where you're doing the Chiefs stuff. Now it's all about baseball, and especially the Royals. You can go higher or lower. It's really simple to use. Their app is amazing. You just choose your entry fee. You decide what you want to play, and you just see the winnings coming if you know what you're doing. So take a swing today and make sure that you sign up for Underdog Fantasy, and they're going to give you a meatball right off the gamut. Bobby Witt Jr. special. So start with a W for your first entry and new customers. Make sure you use the code Chiefs Blitz. That's right. Underdog Fantasy. You want to make sure that you use them. We make it real easy around here in the Four Guys in a Bar podcast. Hey, just all you got to do is just scan the image to the right at the bottom right of your screen and put in the code Chiefs Blitz. Make a $5 deposit, and you can get 50 in bonus plays, and you can get all the hot action into what's going on right now. NBA, NHL playoffs are going on. It's an awesome time to do this. The Royals are hot. They're a fun game to play. Bobby Witt, the game winner last night. It's just so easy to use. I've been using it. I love playing it, and definitely we appreciate them being the sponsor of the Four Guys in a Bar podcast. So again, Underdog Fantasy, hit the code right there. Put in the promo code Chiefs Blitz. Deposit that $5 to get started and get those $50 bonus credits. So what's up, gentlemen?
AFC wide receiver on the move, man. Did you see it?
Bad pickup for me.
Gabe Davis got released by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I've seen that. Definitely seen that.
Was there a different one?
I mean,
And
is
also,
he
It's not like you were talking about somebody else.
George Pickens.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that. I mean, it popped on my news feed. I mean, that's somebody's boy on this show.
I'm like, we can't give up a third round pick. Come on, Beach. Come on, hear me out.
No, you don't want that nightmare. Give me a break.
That was my alarm clock this morning. Come on now.
Stop it.
The Cowboys know how to get the most out of a big splash. First thing in the morning, right away. Trade should be finalized later today, and within minutes it was done. It's kind of a strange move, but yeah. It boom or bust, right? I mean, as far as George is concerned, on the field, what he brings talent-wise, there's no question about that. He is a guy that, in terms of talent, got to be a top 10 receiver in the NFL, right? No question.
Talent, yes, no question.
It's all the other. It's all the other stuff, right? And I'm looking at, again, I don't, for any of you that this is breaking news. I live near Pittsburgh, near Cleveland, near Buffalo. I'm kind of like at the hub if it's a wheel, and a lot of Steeler fans. And, I can't get away from Steelers in my entire life. And I don't like them, but I respect the organization. I respect what they stand for. They rarely move on from a player too late. Right. I mean, whenever they do, it's rare that guy goes somewhere else and is successful. And particularly these wide receivers, going all the way back to Mike Wallace, Chase Claypool, Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, these are guys that they move on from, and then they're never the same. So it has me feeling a certain way. On one level, he and CeeDee Lamb could be one of the best duos in football. On the other hand, it could implode.
Oh my God, I'm going to love every minute of it.
On the field, on the sideline. So it will be entertaining. So Jerry did give us that. It will be entertaining.
I think you hit it right on the nail, Lou. I think it could be a good duo, or it could explode. But I think this is going to be probably the best duo in the NFL. But Charles, besides, even though I hate on this team a lot, even though I hate on the guy a lot, even though I don't like tuna in a can, I like my tuna fresh. Talking about the Bengals, man, even though Jamar Chase and T. Higgins could be up there. But again, I think George Pickens have that, like Lou said, that be the top 10 wide receiver in the NFL.
Potential.
Besides the attitude, but other than that, if he does go there and click, and he gets, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, watch out.
Nah, ain't no damn watch out. Ain't no watch out. Nah, it's going to implode. That he's a character. He have character issues. Mike Tomlin's a strong head coach, right? One of the strongest head coaches in the NFL. And you let this man go. I'm like, yeah, he's a problem. That man is a problem. And then look at the stats, man. He wasn't dominant at all. Like, he didn't have dominant stats whatsoever, especially against the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? He was getting locked up. You know what I'm saying? Against my Bengals, he was getting locked up, man. Maybe Russell Wilson, but at the same time, his attitude stinks. Stinks, man.
I'm going to say maybe it's Russell Wilson just trying to slip it in there. I'm
going to do what I can, man.
We're going to trade for Russell Wilson next?
He's got maybe as much as he can from the revolving door quarterback that they've had there throughout his career, right?
Right.
Because he always averaged 15, 16 yards a catch. I mean, so when he is engaged and he is playing, I mean, it can be special. But yeah, the Steelers rarely move on from any. And as we say all the time, the contract year is undefeated.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, so they didn't pick up. I don't think they picked up his 5th-year option. So now he goes to Dallas, and he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah. So basically, for a one year rental, the Cowboys get him in a 6th round 27 pick in exchange for their 26th 3rd round pick and a 27th 5th round pick. Here's the most interesting things: the Steelers wide receiver room right now, the top 3: DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin III, and Robert Woods.
Yeah.
You know what happened. Everybody know what happened. Aaron Rodgers on his way over there, and he's choosing what guys he want over there.
What the hell is Aaron Rodgers going to do with that?
He gonna do with the Jets. I'm hearing the guy from what was his name, Lazard. Is going on his way over there to the.
Lazard didn't do shit in New York, and he's not going to do anything in Pittsburgh.
Well, here's the thing. God. I mean, the Jets just signed.
Devontae Adams worked really well for him, didn't it?
The Jets just signed Lazard to an extension. I think a 3-year extension. Now that doesn't preclude you from trading the guy, but I don't know if the Steelers are going to run that way or let kind of Rodgers dictate who they want. I had mentioned right at the top. I mean, Gabe Davis just got released. Keenan Allen's still out there. Amari Cooper's still out there. If they want to bring another veteran in that, is going to be able to mesh with Aaron Rodgers and just kind of the way he plays in a fairly quick fashion. So I don't think the Steelers are done at that position, but they just had got to the point where we're not going to extend the guy. we may as well get something out of him. It's a little strange that they didn't do it before the draft and maybe kind of cash in that ticket right away. But Jerry and the Cowboys typically don't do anything fairly quickly. So
I think
we'll see, because Mike is on deck for a new contract, and maybe they wait to see like the first month and see how Pickens meshes with CD, and they say, okay, this is going to work. We'll extend him, and they'll still wait just because that's what they do. But at least they'll have an idea. This is how it's going to work. So just the whole thing is curious, but just great on a Wednesday after the draft, before the schedule release. It's all Cowboys, every show, everything. Jerry, again, the maestro of just getting the most out of it.
He said they weren't done with the wide receiver room right after the draft.
No, he was saying they were working before the draft. We're working on Keenan Allen. They should have got Keenan Allen. We're working on 2 big trades.
They should have got Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen's kind of at the end of the career versus Pickens.
Pickens is 24 years old. No, he is, but I go for IQ and character. And damn it, I will pick Keenan Allen over Pickens any day.
Keenan Allen,
any day.
Keenan Allen, D-Hop, all over again. He's just a name.
But who would you trust though, Bo? See, here's the thing: it's all character.
I would trust George Pickens. If George Pickens is good, I would take that all day, any day.
You'll take a bigger Tyreek Hill.
You know what? What happened? They went in there. They let DK Matt come over there. He said, "No, I must be the biggest diva in the locker room. I don't want the more diva. I want other divas outshining me." So he said, "I want this number guy out here, and I want my number 14." He said, "I want my 14." He wanted his number 14. George Pickens wasn't giving it up. George Pickens said, "I'm not giving up my number 14 for anybody." So then they traded him. So that's what I think what happened. Maybe that's all wrong. maybe
he's the only one that want to suck on the pacifier. DK Noble is sucking on pacifiers, man. He's the big baby over there. He's the baby over there, man.
Those ring pops are highly underrated. Very tasty. A lot of sugar. You need that energy when you're out there on the field. Come on.
I guess it's what it is. Some good energy.
Come on, dude.
Whatever works, I guess.
Whatever floats your boat, man.
They said I'll shout out Ruben, Robert. Me.
Was that Robert?
Hey, Robert, how you doing?
He said, "Hey, Nick." Everybody for joining in. Ruben, who was?
We got Weston out there.
Weston out there.
New theme song.
Hey, hold on. Hey, real quick. What's Ruben talking about? Hense, exactly. What you mean exactly? Are you talking about they're going to be the best duo in the NFL?
Darren Huggins in here too.
Am I saying exactly? Because I don't know about that. They're not going to be the best. They're going to be the worst duo
of the arms of.
They're going to be the worst duo in the NFL, not the best.
Probably the arms of an angel.
Glad that Dog and Pony show isn't in Kansas City. That's for sure.
Yeah, man.
I'm just saying, I would give up a 3rd round pick. I would have. I was in a heartbeat.
No.
I was like, "Here you go."
Well,
what else?
Again, part of that.
You lose 2 of your golden jack. But
that's part of the price tag, because he's not under contract beyond this year.
Yeah.
So maybe that. And I'm sure Dallas is like, Chicago, they got fleeced. They got a 2nd round pick, and it ends up being pick 33 for Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
And that's just, not that Chase Claypool was going to be as good as Pickens, but he came off that rookie year. He had double-digit touchdown. He looked like he was going to be a thing. He was going to be a player. You haven't heard from him since, and they get a second. They get the 33rd pick overall for him. So, got to be careful when you're dealing with Pittsburgh players. But this is classic Jerry move.
So with that said, let's get right into Chiefs Who. What you have for?
That's right. Let's go, gang. It is Wednesday. Nothing like a Chiefs Who game to get you over the top, if you would. So. For those of you, most of you in here probably know exactly what this game is, but there might be some of you listening that are just new to the show. So quickly, I will read off a series of concocted clues. Usually they're concocted by me, and it is only me. I don't really have a staff. So anyway, it is by me. And maybe I'm the only one that understands them. Or occasionally Kareem gets in my head and he just like he's on it, but that hasn't happened in a while. So I got him out. He's out of my head. So All right, without further ado, gang, strap it up. Let's go. Clue number 1, per usual. He was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. This Chief.
Yeah, okay, next question.
Clue number 2. Let's go. Moving along. A close family member is a former second rounder. A close family member is a former second round pick.
Travis Kelce.
Is not. Clue number 3. He has shown positional versatility in his career. He has shown positional versatility in his career.
It's Kingsley Suamatea.
It is not, Nick. But I appreciate the response.
All right, very good.
Connor.
Anybody in there? Anybody in the chat? I haven't seen any guesses from there. And clue number 4 shares a similar teenage experience with a former Chief. All right, Weston, Gardner Minshew. It is not Gardner Minshew. Okay, so to review quickly. Number 1, 3-star recruit coming out of high school. A close family member is a former second rounder. Number 3 has shown positional versatility in his career. And number 4 shares a similar teenage experience with a former Chief. Congratulations, John Harrison.
Johnny.
It is one Joshua Simmons. That's right. Number 71, first round pick in the 2025 NFL draft. Yes, the offensive tackle from Ohio State and San Diego State. His father, Nelson, was a second-round pick of the Detroit Tigers in 1981.
Really?
He has played left tackle and right tackle between San Diego State and Ohio State, and he went to the same high school as one Alex Smith. So there you have it, folks.
Wow.
Chief Who for
Way to go, Johnny.
That was deep, man. You went to the root, didn't you? You went straight to the root.
For week 2 or 3 post-draft. I don't remember, but it's just the off-season Chief Who.
I was close.
Way to go, John Harrison.
You was close.
You were very good. That was very cool.
I was just to the left or to the right, I guess. I don't know.
We don't know where he's playing, Nick, but yeah. So there it is, folks. Chief Who, always brought to you by our friends at Underdog Fantasy Sports. Play today, scan here, put up $5, get $50 in bonus selections.
There it is.
Good job, Lou. Very well done.
That was well done, man. Well thought of. Well,
he was a 3-star recruit or 4?
3.
Wow, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Guess he hadn't eaten his Wheaties yet at that point.
Helix High School in San Diego. There you go.
Yeah, I love San Diego. It's one of the most beautiful cities in the whole.
San Diego.
Oh God, it's as close to perfect as you can get.
75 degrees all year round. You know, close to 75 degrees all year. It's just beautiful.
It's not being Arizona though. Arizona stay beautiful. Good heat, dry heat, no grass. You know what I'm saying? No cutting grass.
In-N-Out Burger, a Pollo Loco. I mean, I'm telling you.
Hey, come on, man. No pollen. You know, got allergies, allergy free. You know what I'm saying? You go to Arizona, you feel good, dry heat. You gotta love it.
Here comes the mic drop.
Hey, it was coming. It was coming.
What's that?
Pacific Ocean.
Pacific Ocean.
That's it.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie.
So say what you will about Arizona. That's
I ain't gonna lie. I don't like water, man. Hey, mother. Hey, when it comes to water,
there.
shit, I ain't going to no damn beach.
Stay on the sand then.
Look at John. John's giving a bonus clue. Simmons' uncle was a former NFL fullback.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Simmons built ready then. Okay, all right. Well, Simmons got a lot of history in the league, so you know.
Nice, John. We appreciate the extra.
They said Simmons is a monster. They said he's healthy. He's a monster. You know,
he's gonna get his chance. You know, we
need monster shit. We need monsters. Damn it, shit. And if you're a monster, you're a beast. Yeah, we definitely need that.
All right, Hense, guide us, pal.
What they said. Let's get into the battle of the AFC West, and the battle of the
graphic.
AFC West. We must protect this house.
Ding, ding, ding.
So with that said, guys, we're gonna get into our first question of the day. Is it time for a new king in the AFC West? I know a lot of teams are rebuilding out there. A lot of teams are gathering a lot of twos. Do they think they have what it takes to be, ready to be the top dogs right now? Luke.
Not yet. No. I believe many of these teams are making sure. All three teams I thought had really good off seasons between free agency, the draft, adding new coaches. I don't know. I can't remember since they went to the 4-team divisions, a division with a better set of coaches, all iconic coaches in the NFL, at least in, after 1990, whatever year these guys started, Pete and Andy and who's our guy in Denver, Sean Payton, right? I mean, all of, either been in a Super Bowl, won Super Bowl. So top notch there. Talent wise, I think we talked about it in previous shows. I think Denver probably is the team that you probably start to look at as kind of maybe inching above the Chargers or right there with the Chargers. The only thing I would say is that it's just Bo Nix's second year because defensively they've added pieces. I mean, we talked about the two guys from the 49ers, Greenlaw and Hufanga, on top of, the draft choices that they've made, Jahdae Barron in the first round. So, I don't know that they're ready to beat the Chiefs for the division, but they're certainly going to be improved. And I think the years of the Chiefs going 6-0 in the division or 5-1 every year might be a little tougher, right? So I don't think anybody overtakes them yet.
Nah, well, I'm gonna disagree. I think Denver is ready. I think Denver showed. If you watched the game last year, they was putting a whooping on the Kansas City Chiefs before the block. But if you look at what Denver doing right now, they got a great defense over there. A great defense over from front to the back. They got their defense is awesome. And Bo Nix picked up pace. He picked it up, man. They got the weapons over there. They got Sutton over there. They got Troy Franklin over there. They got some guys going there that's starting to step up. But like I said, once really Bo Nix settle in, yes, they're going to be the team to do it. They definitely going to be the team to do it because I don't see a weakness on that team. You got a good head coach. Bo Nix, he knows the system. Defense is playing what? They got a top 10 defense. They got
a top 3 defense.
Probably top 5. Yeah. I mean, statistically, I think even last year they were.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So with that being said, yes, that team, that'll be the team to do it.
I'm looking at I'm just glaring minds at how the man is still here. If the man is still here, I would say no one's ready. No one's ready to beat this team as long as this man is still here. He is the division killer. Right? He's the guy that actually gets it done. Go out here and take care of business when it's all said and done. I can't see nobody else. I know everybody retooling, revamping, redoing their teams and getting it all ready for when it's all said and done. But if you don't have that man at the throne, I know Bo Nix look good, and Justin Herbert. You don't know what you're gonna get out of Geno Smith. But when you got a Patrick Mahomes, man, I know I asked the question: is it time for a new one? As long as when he's done, then yes, there'll be a time for a new one. Other than that, I would say, nah. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, I mean, I think the king of the AFC West obviously is Patrick Mahomes. But who's going to be the king of the division? I mean, the Chiefs has won 8 straight, 9 straight. I don't even know what the number is. I can't keep track anymore. I'm with Lou. I mean, I think the Broncos are the closest. Again, you look at the coaches. You can make an argument that whether it's the NFL Hall of Fame or the College Football Hall of Fame, these guys are all 4 of these guys are going to be there. Sean Payton, who I dislike, did a terrific job last year, and he did the hard stuff that first year in booting Russell Wilson. He went to bat for Bo Nix for the organization. He threw him out there very early. He made a lot of mistakes, but he made some great plays. And as the Chiefs saw against the A team, he gave them everything that he could handle. And then against the B team, he just destroyed them. But, it's a lot to ask for a rookie quarterback to come back a second year and be as successful or better. Now, Patrick Mahomes clearly had that in him. He started in 2018 was his first season. What did he do? He lit it on fire, got to the AFC Championship game, and then won the Super Bowl the following year. So I think from a quarterback perspective, it's not close. From an overall team perspective, I think definitely all three teams in the division outside of Kansas City made improvements, but so did the Chiefs. They addressed a lot of needs. So for me, it's going to be the schedule comes out a week from today. We're going to be doing a live show, I think around 6:00. I think a lot of it's going to be how the schedule goes, is put together. It's going to do obviously a lot of injuries here and there. But I think on paper, you have to say the Broncos are going to be the most difficult team in the division for the Chiefs to get through, I think. And we'll see what happens. If he doesn't have a sophomore slump, that defense, guys, I'm telling you, it's the best in the division. And it's Kansas City's a close second, but just hold on. Just let me say my piece.
Let them cook.
I don't like the Broncos any more than anybody else on the panel does, but at the end of the day, you got to respect the fact that they're really good.
Bring MVS back.
And
I just mess with you. Go ahead.
No, don't count it out. Don't count it out.
I wouldn't count it out either when he gets released from Seattle. Now you guys know what to give me for Christmas. You give me a signed mini helmet from MVS, and I'll display it proudly. But listen, no one is better than Patrick Mahomes in the division. There's no one better in the NFL than Patrick Mahomes. And again, we saw the chip on, and I'll say this: we saw the chip on the shoulder from Patrick Mahomes after he lost to the Patriots. And I'm telling you, that chip is going to be 10 times higher when it comes to the 2025 season for that embarrassing loss where he gave up 2 interceptions that cost him 14 points or 14 points at least. You take those 14 points out of the equation, and as bad as the Chiefs played in the first half, who knows? It could have been a one-score game with the Chiefs having the ball late in the game. So it just didn't work out that way. And so he's going to come back scorchers. But the Broncos, to me, are the team that's going to give the Chiefs the most trouble. But they got a much harder schedule this year than they did last year because they were a playoff team.
So with that said, what's the biggest threat to the Chiefs' dominance? I know you said the Broncos. Besides that, I know there's some key positions that they brought in as well. Besides the Broncos, what else can be there, Coach or Lou?
Well, in the division, obviously we talked about that. I think in the conference, the Bills aren't going anywhere. Okay. I think they've improved in the offseason as well as most teams have. Not all teams, but most teams have. Depending on what Cincinnati does with their defense, they could be in that group as well. The Ravens, I think, are going to be improved. Another year in that defense, a defensive coordinator, kind of young in the position, and bringing a guy in like Malachi Starks now to play opposite of Hamilton in the backfield. I think that's going to make a big difference to them. So, I think that the same teams that you kind of looked at last year are going to be the same ones this year. So like Buffalo, Baltimore, and then Cincinnati, if they're healthy and they can improve on defense, or they get the Hendrickson mess straightened out. Are we being invaded by aliens? What's happening?
I think so. The microphone.
That's that new internet came with gremlins, man.
Yeah. There is life out there.
There you go. It's good. Again,
we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No,
we can't hear Hense.
I think Hense spoke. And
okay.
Came out.
Was it fixed now?
There we go. All right.
There it is. So dig it. Like, I think, to me, the Bengals again, man. I feel like the Bengals are the threat for the Kansas City Chiefs every year, as long as Joe Burrow's healthy. Because like I said, them guys, they go back and forth, and a lot of people will keep beating on the drums with Josh Allen, and he's the new guy. But ain't Mahomes or Josh Allen. I definitely disagree with that. It's Joe Burrow all day. And again, if you're looking at Lamar Jackson for real, and like in big games in the playoffs, he hasn't lived up to expectation, Nick, and I give you that one. Because that game against Josh Allen, it was on him. It was his fault.
Yeah.
It was his fault. So looking at Josh Allen is good, but when the game's on the line, when the money's on the table, I had to go with Joe Burrow. Like I had to go with them Bengals. You know what I'm saying? But what he brings to the table and his knowledge of the game, man, it's different from both of those quarterbacks. I feel like if they get it together on defense, the Bengals are going to be the threat for the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's the huge if, because I mean, you're talking like a one-on-one matchup or something like that, or we're saying, okay, which quarterback is going to be able to do this, that, or the other. But in terms of the Bengals, it is going to be their defense. New defensive coordinator for the first time in many years. So Anarumo's magic or whatever that he had over the Chiefs is going to be a little bit different.
That's gone.
They've lost some players. Their most dominant defensive player is still, unhappy with his contract. So that is what the only, I would say that kind of would hold me back from putting them up there with Baltimore and Buffalo at this point.
Right. Yeah.
I just look at it from like, if you look at Baltimore never been consistent when the game's on the line. Lamar never consistent to go against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. He's never consistent. Like look at Josh Allen. Yes, Josh Allen played phenomenal against the Chiefs in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he don't get it done.
Well, he played good, but he played good the last 2 years.
I don't think you can say that Josh has ever had it.
Josh didn't lose.
So if you look at, I'm talking about like just overall winning though. It's like special teams kicked his ass because he can't kick the damn ball. So I get that, but what I'm saying is just the Buffalo Bills in general, they don't get the job done. If you want to go take it there,
they haven't. No.
Then the Bengals got the job done. If you look at it, besides the having a little hiccup on the offensive line that year, they would have beat the Rams.
Hold on. The Bengals got it done one time. They won more times than the Bills have.
And
I think you have to look.
Go ahead, Nick.
You have to look at it like, yes, I think the Bengals offensively are going to be dynamite if the offensive line holds up, and I expect it will. They brought their talent back. They've got two of the best wide receivers in the NFL who play so well off one another. Joe Burrow, when healthy, is a top 3 quarterback in my mind. And it could fluctuate. He's also injury prone, which is just something he's had to deal with, but he's overcome it every time. And I think I like the Bengals is more of a team if the Chiefs defense doesn't up their game this year. That's going to be tough for Kansas City. But again, as Lou said, the Bengals defense isn't good enough. They're going to be the 2017-2018 Chiefs, and that's what you're going to see here, or 2019 Chiefs. Really good offense and a suspect defense.
I'll say this: the only threat to the Chiefs is their offensive line. Ain't nobody else in the AFC West. Ain't nobody else, in the division. I'm just saying, only threat to the I know. I'm just asking the question. I'm just saying, like that. Only threat to them is their offensive line. If they can get that fixed, they could have hooked in there. Been in there with the Eagles. They could have won the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers. If they can get this line fixed, I can say that's the only threat they can beat to them, because everything else they didn't dominate it in. All the AFC title games they have been in here.
I'm not worried about the Chiefs' offensive line. I'm not worried about it one bit.
It said that what's the biggest threat,
that's their biggest Achilles. That's their biggest Achilles.
Yeah, that's their Achilles heel
when it's come to losing. So again, they have to prove it. We can't sit here at least I can't sit here today and say confidently that the offensive line is fixed.
Right, that's Nick saying it.
I'm not as concerned about it as I was last year.
Think so. That I think the pieces are in place and the potential is there. But we have to see it on the field before we can state that, okay, that's not going to be a huge issue this year.
Yep.
And let's focus on maybe beefing up the pass rush a little bit, being a little bit more consistent defensively, take the ball away a little bit more, those kinds of things. And then stay healthy on offense, stay healthy on the wide receivers.
My thing is the play callers. Go ahead, Bo.
I would just try to say that the offensive line, like Luke answered it for me. You know what I mean? He finished the question for me. Like I can't confidently say yes, we got this piece, that piece for the offensive line, but the Achilles heels, with the Chiefs has been the offensive line. Since Eric Fisher and all the other guys, step away. It's been a resolving door at the left tackle position, and I feel like that's the only threat that's actually stopping this team because they defense was shutting people down, holding them down. Special teams on top of the game, and Harris and Bucker and everything else. Wide receivers was coming along or can be coming along if Patrick Mahomes had time in the pocket. But other than that, man, the only threat to the Chiefs is they self, and you got to look at the offensive line, and that's the only thing that's
and Nagy, sir. I was with you. You forgot Nagy. Nagy is the other hiccup when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. It's Nagy.
Yeah, what?
It's Nagy all day, man. Nagy, stop with the dink and dunks, man, and throw that damn thing, man. Launch it, shit. That's a Patrick Mahomes we want.
Yeah. Hey,
Launch
Nick,
it.
I don't know. Did Donovan
Stretch
Smith
the
sign
field,
with anybody?
man.
Yeah.
Who did Donovan Smith sign with? Anybody?
I don't know because
I don't think he did.
Yeah.
That was I guess the talk during the course of the season was bringing him back because he wasn't on a team. So who knows? It maybe wasn't in football shape.
Right.
I truly don't know. But yeah, I would still give a little credit to those teams that the Chiefs are in dogfights with, usually in the playoffs, like Baltimore, like Buffalo. Those games are always comes down to a couple of plays here and there. So, I mean, yes, I'm confident that they'll get it done because they just have been consistent at winning time and making the plays that the other teams don't, but they're still right there. So ball bounces funny, all the time. Just got to shore up the offensive line.
Listen, if all these other quarterbacks can throw the ball deep on shell defense, and damn it, Mahomes can do the same thing. Because in the Eagles game, he was launching that damn ball, man. I'm just saying.
So which new player will have the biggest impact on the division race? It's a lot of new guys coming in. They got the Geno Smith. The Broncos are rebuilding their defense. There's a lot of players that's coming into the this division. What guy can actually have an impact on this race? I know Geno Smith probably going to be a lot of guys' answer, or Genty for the Jets. I mean, not the Jets, for the Raiders. Go ahead, Lou.
I mean, if we're looking at the other teams, I would say probably going to be Omari and Hampton because the Chargers want to run the ball. That's Harbaugh's thing. That's how they're going to win and whatever. And they weren't healthy enough at the running back position last year, consistent enough to really kind of lay the entire culture in. Now, that was his first year.
Mm-hmm.
So if this kid's able to be healthy, they got Najee Harris as well. I think that's probably where you're going to see a lot of impact. In terms of the Chiefs, I'm going to go with one of the gold jacket guys and Mr. Parking Lot. I think, given the opportunity to rush from the inside alongside Chris Jones or Menahu or George or any of those guys, I think he can have a significant impact on and how the Chiefs defense, how their third down defense really performs. So I would say Mr. Norman Parking Lot. And then for the rest of the division, I would say Omari and Hampton, just because that's kind of the Chargers, just kind of their aura, what they want to do.
I'm going to say Geno Smith for me. Geno Smith with the Raiders, man, he brings some stability, and that's Pete Carroll's guy, so they got chemistry over there, and you bring in Janetti, bringing him, and you got Bowers over there, your guy, Nick. So I like that move over there because now you got a quarterback that knows the system, and you add on great pieces to benefit that system. I definitely would say that. And my guy for the Kansas City Chiefs is Galati. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy, man. That boy gonna put work in for the Chiefs, though. But Geno Smith is my guy, man. It's gonna make a big impact in this division.
Well, I just say if I had to look at it, it'll be what the Broncos did on what the Broncos did on defense. Sorry, I didn't mean to put the shot on the
You good.
Did on defense, bringing in the kid from Texas. They secured that secondary. And also, I keep on his name slipped my mind. I forgot his name. The kid was it Brian?
Jade Barron.
from the Texas, man. I feel like that could be a big impact. You know what I mean? Because you got a passing lead, and there you got a little key front. They built on their defense. He could be an impact player to actually do some damage to this division race. And also on the Chiefs, with the Chiefs, man, it had to be. I know I like Mr. Park a lot, but it had to be Smith, right? Smith in the 7th round. We need a running back. A running game was not actually there. And also it is what's his name going to do? Is Josh Simmons going to come out to be an impact player? You know what I mean? To secure up that offensive line. Then that's the key guys that I would be thinking about to make an impact on this division race.
Yeah, I'm not going to have too much original. I agree with Lou. I think Hampton has the chance to be really, really, really special. He fits the perfect style of offense that Jim Harbaugh wants to play. He finally has that 3-down back. He's got a guy he can build his offense around. They tried to do that last year. It didn't quite work. They had some deficiencies. They made a lot of mistakes, and they got shellackled in the postseason. So I think that guy, I think Hampton to me is really going to be a game changer for them. You all know how I felt about it before the draft. And I think for the Chiefs, to me, Smith is the most exciting player that the Chiefs drafted from a potential, oh my God, we could see big plays in this offense again guy that we're accustomed to. We haven't seen the big plays in the last few years, but he's a true home run hitter like Hampton. And I think who has the team that has the best running game or one of the best running games, I think is going to go a long way to being the AFC West champion. But I think Smith, to me, is the guy that I think he's that game changer. And I was watching his video when Nagy called him and told him that they were going to be picking him. And me, guys, I'm a sentimental sap. I'm always going to be that way. And I thought his emotions about coming to Kansas City and the opportunity he had and the things he said after the draft, he reminded me of kind of like the way Jamal Charles felt for being a 3rd rounder when he thought he was a 1st or 2nd rounder. Now, I'm not comparing they're going to be the same player, but I just think he, again, coming into the Chiefs with a chip on his shoulder, Hampton was a 1st round pick. There's no question, Genty was a 1st round pick. So I really think he's going to be the most impactful draft pick next, with Simmons, obviously.
Hey, real quick, my bad, Genty. I keep saying Genetti, Genty. Because who the hell is Genetti?
That's all right. Arizona's not on the Pacific Ocean, but you're good.
Yeah, man, my bad, Genty.
Genetti was a WWE wrestler. That's why you're always saying that. But just imagine this for a second. Picture this in your mind. Everybody kind of get in a meditative state and just imagine 3rd down. Rashard Smith is lined up behind Patrick and then goes in motion and lines up in a bunch with Xavier and Jalen Royals.
I can see
what the hell is the defense going to do in that situation? I mean, just in terms of like setting up like mismatches and whatever. A kid that obviously can play both positions, and we'll see how many snaps he get. Just 1st down, 2nd down. Maybe he blows it up right, but at very least. You'll see this kid in different positions, whether it's running the ball on 3rd down, putting him out in the slot by himself, or in a bunch. I mean, that could just be special. Andy Reid is going to have a lot of fun Madden for sure.
This boy on my side thinking about Madden. He's like, the formations.
Lou brought the kid to us. He's been watching him since senior day.
Did. He opened my eyes.
And I kind of watched the tape again. I was watching some of the tape last night when I was up putting this show together. I was like, man, this kid can be actually like Nick said, he's not trying to put the name on the kid, but heck, I do it. I put the stamp on it.
Well, it ain't shocking. Hey, wait. It ain't shocking. It ain't shocking. I ain't see that coming.
I think he will be a Jamal Charles when it's all said and done. I'm just saying, when it's all said and done, I feel like the kid can actually get it done. But again, like Dre always say on this show, it's what the offensive line going to do.
It's what the offensive line going to do, man.
The biggest question going into this, this offseason with the Kansas City Chiefs. Yep. And what's going to be the biggest storyline in the AFC West this offseason, which I'm looking forward to?
The biggest storyline.
I think the biggest storyline is going to be the competitive nature of the division with a legitimate chance for any team to beat anybody else on any given Sunday in the division. I think for the first time, the Chiefs were vulnerable the last couple of years because they just didn't score as many points as they used to. In some of these close games would have been blowouts.
I wonder why.
But I just think when you look at the four coaches, as Lou said earlier, that's going to create that's going to shrink. That's going to shrink the possibility of the Chiefs going 5-1 in the division, which is what I think you're going to have 5 wins to be above the pack. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Maybe they're 4-2. But I think the way the coaching staff is put together, the way all 4 teams, had a really good offseason, had a really good draft, made major moves. They all drafted well. They understand their philosophy and who they are. The Chiefs know what they are with Andy Reid. The Chargers know what they are with Harbaugh. Pete Carroll, God love the guy. He's been around forever. He's won everywhere he's won. Everywhere he's coached in college and the professional ranks. And then you got Sean Payton, who finally has his next quarterback. And so I can't wait. I wish they played each other 3 times in the season. I think that'd be a lot more fun than 2. But it's going to be fun. But I think the AFC West has shrunk the division and how competitive these games are going to be in a fashion in which even if the Chiefs score 25, 28, or 30 points, none of these teams are going to be out of it at least the first time they meet. I'll put that caveat on there.
I'm going to say this. For me, I believe the Las Vegas Raiders, to me, is the biggest storyline because you bring in a new coach. You're bringing a new coach in, Geno Smith, Genty Mo.
There you go.
We bring Genty over there, and like you say, you got Brock Bowers over there. I feel like that's the biggest storyline coming out this division because remember, the Raiders been a laughing stock for the last years, damn the last 5 some years, man, right? So for them to come in, and let's not forget, guys, half these people, Denver, Chargers, Chiefs, they all went to the playoffs. Wouldn't it be crazy if all 4 go to the damn playoffs and whatnot out of the AFC West? So that's a big thing for me to see, how competitive the AFC West is becoming right now. Because, like you stated, you got all Hall of Fame head coaches, right? They know who they are, they know the system, whatnot. They got pieces that they embark on what they want to do. And like I said, the offense for the Raiders is going to be more explosive. We know what Denver can do on a defense side of the ball. Now, this Bo Nick's second year, let's not forget about the Chargers. You know what I'm saying with their style of play. And of course, the West Coast offense with the Chiefs, you see a lot of different styles in this division. They're very competitive. So I'm all for it, man. To see these guys be more competitive, that's the storyline for me.
Yeah, I don't know if it's quite a storyline, but to me, just most of the dysfunction has been taken out of the division. Because it seemed like for a while, Denver was kind of in a wasteland. The Raiders were definitely out in a wasteland. And the Chargers, they invented a term, chargering. So I don't know that, I think what Nick was trying to say was like the margin for error is much smaller now for the Chiefs within the division just because of that fact, because you've got coaches here that, again, you put them together and you're not going to find a better group. I don't care that they might be the oldest group of 4. They are the savviest and arguably, in terms of setting a culture, all 4 of them. Pete, that's going to be completely different in Las Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is that you're going to know that that's a Pete Carroll team. That Sean Payton's got the thing rolling in Denver. What Harbaugh's going to do. And obviously, what Coach Reid's going to do. So I think maybe the national media might sleep on this division a little bit, but now they really can't just because of the coaching
Exactly.
of all 4 teams.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's, to me, is just kind of like removal of the dysfunction from the other 3 teams is the big storyline.
Yeah, you make a great point. It's absolutely the way it is now, and that's good for competition. And the Chiefs play better when they're facing better teams than teams that aren't as good. So the division is going to be tough this year.
I would say this. I have to say the big storyline is going to be what Travis Kelce going to do, right? Is he going to come out? Is he going to come out a little slower? Is he going to come back healthier? Or is a lot of people going to be looking at what him and Taylor Swift are doing or this? I feel like Travis Kelce is going to be the biggest storyline. Coming back this year. Considering retirement, is he going to come back even stronger, or even come back in the Super Bowl? Yeah, I know he could admit it. He got his butt kicked. He got his butt handed to him. So that would have to be the biggest storyline. It's going to have to come out for me if I had to choose the storyline. What Travis Kelce is he going to come out to be playing Hall of Fame status? Travis Kelce, or is he going to see what he left off in the Super Bowl?
Addition by subtraction. Yeah. How about all those air miles he was logging for most of the offseason?
Yeah, he won't have to do that this year.
I mean, my God, how could he possibly perform at his peak when he's zipping around the globe, like all summer, all the time? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's had all this time. I'm sure they still travel, but not like, red eyes and whatever, back and forth, flying from one continent to the next. So I think he's, I think he was, you mentioned the word embarrassed, very much embarrassed in that game. Even though his brother wasn't playing for the Eagles at the time, that probably wasn't the outcome he was expecting, and especially the way it turned out. So even at this age, that chip on his shoulder, I think, just grew up immensely, if you would. And he's attacking this offseason like he hasn't in a long time.
Yeah, and I think that, the Taylor Swift factor. I mean, listen, let's just be honest. That's their relationship. It's unfortunately public. They've kind of sequestered their trips and their appearances since the Super Bowl to spend some time together. And what he did last year, he did. But you're right. Jet lag, even though he says he loves to sleep on airplanes, you got to think some of this affected him, but
takes it out of you, man.
Yeah, but still, this guy has paid his dues. He has given everything he has to the Chiefs. And I think that, when you look at this offseason, the way, we hear he's been working out, I think to answer Hense's question, I think he's going to play really well. I think he's going to play at a very high level. If this is indeed the swan song for the Mahomes-Kelce era in Kansas City, I expect a different outcome, both in the regular season and in the postseason, for Travis to want to come back. Obviously, he has the support of his family and his girlfriend and everybody involved. And the Chiefs have said, hey, take as much time off as you need in the offseason. And you let us know when he wants to come back. He made that pretty clear early on. So I think Travis Kelce is poised to have put an exclamation point on his career heading into the Hall of Fame and to down the aisle with Taylor Swift. So I'm confident. I'm confident in both.
Yeah. So with that said, we're gonna get to some of these questions. I know King Mo said Travis is going to be the third option this season, and I kind of
be 1 and 2.
Rashid Rice and Worthy. You know what I mean?
I thought you meant in the tight end position. Sorry.
He said the third. He's gonna be the third option for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Western put it in something that you go ahead and get that.
If only the dumb teams, the AFC East, could actually do something to stop off. But now, Weston, I will say that I think the Patriots will be more competitive this year. Mm-hmm. I think the Jets will be more competitive. Who in the heck knows what the Miami Dolphins are going to be? Great offense, crappy defense. Maybe the defense will be better. The Bills whined about having to go down to Miami, and when it was in the heat of early part of the season, and the Dolphins got upset because they had to go there in the wintertime. So blah, 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 blah. I don't think that division is given to the Bills. I really don't.
You got to say that they're heavily favored.
They're heavily favored, but
because we talked about the dysfunction that used to be in this division, I think it's kind of transferred to the other coast.
It's
right?
not as it's not as dysfunctional.
because
at least with all four
Miami
teams.
is kind of a mess internally. The Jets are kind of a mess internally, and we think the Patriots. I love their draft. Obviously, Vrabel is a whole different vibe.
Yep.
So that
They're
team,
very competitive. Patriots are very competitive, though,
if
and they got some good pieces, man.
Drake May continues to make the strides and look like he was going to make last year, they should be a pretty good football team. But they're not. They're nowhere near ready to compete for the division. But there's going to be much tougher games for the Bills. I would think.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, he said Darian, I think Higgins. I think I can't hardly see his name.
Darren Huggins.
Yes. He said Patrick Mahomes is going to go on fire. He said he's going to go on fire, and I believe that. If he got this offensive line picks, he can go. He's going to be there. He can be there and get it off.
It's the constant refrain. Whenever Patrick has a bad game, or just something doesn't go well or whatever, well, he's going scorched earth now. Yeah. He's going to they're going to burn Arrowhead down if he keeps doing that. Come on, man.
I'm telling you, the level of, how do I put this? The level of attention to detail that this offense in front of him are going to have, that he's going to demand of them, is going to be through the roof. You better know everything. You better know where to be. You better do your job, because I took a beating for this franchise the last 2 years to suffer the injuries and the health and the bruises. Thank God he's got a superstar trainer. Thank God he has the drive to overcome the pain of going through the regular season and having enough left in the postseason. And I'm telling you, I don't think you're going to get any quips from Mahomes. I think it's going to be an all business season, because it's twofold. One, obviously, he wants to prove that loss was just was a blip, like the Bucks. But he's also going to get a new contract, and so I think he'd rather feel that he deserves that, and he believes, and the organization believes in him to carry it to the next 5 or 6 or 7 years of his career. That could include being the starting quarterback in a brand new stadium. So many things, but right now, the way Patrick has been he's been chill all off season. He's taking care of business internally, and he's doing what needs to be done to get his body right. And Bobby Stoop has done a great job with him as his personal trainer. And I'm telling you, if you're a fan of the Bills, if you're a fan of the Bengals or the Eagles, or any of the teams the Chiefs will be facing, again, we'll break down their schedule a week from tomorrow night. Don't think for 1 second that Patrick Mahomes has taken a step back, because it's just not the case.
Well, let me answer something real quick. It's not Mahomes taking it personal. I think the line should take it personal. They the ones who take it personal. They should take it personal. They should be.
That's irrelevant.
Mahomes, man. What you mean it's relevant?
It's relevant.
It's relevant to some degree, but Patrick Mahomes, by his own admission,
man, hell.
Patrick had opportunities last year he didn't take.
I'm just saying, Ron got to get better.
Patrick is wired to want to be better every single day. That's just the way he's wired. There's a handful of guys, it seems like, and there's probably more, but he has the talent to go with it too, and the maniacal work ethic, where just, Kobe, Michael Jordan. I'm sure there's guys in the NFL right now that kind of work that way too. But I think the biggest thing for him, and people will throw out that 5,000, 50 touchdowns or whatever, that was a completely different team. And I think it was more, I don't want to say he was forced to do that, but he certainly needed every one of those yards and every one of those touchdowns for them to be effective. Where he's kind of, I think, scaled it back because the defense has gotten much better. And the defense is always better when they play a lot fewer snaps. Well, how do you do that? You control the ball. So I think just subconsciously in his mind, he is, I guess, just trying to figure out where that happy median is between, do I need to really take this chance right now? Okay, what is it? Okay, do I really need to throw this ball? And I think because he was overemphasizing it, reading way too much into it, he didn't throw as many deep shots. So now he's kind of, I think, revisiting that. the kid probably watches more film than anybody, and he's going back and seeing where were those opportunities that I didn't take. Why didn't I take it? What was happening with the line? Am I dropping too far back? Am I just like not doing any favors to the offensive line? Am I leaving the pocket too early, and forcing bad plays? So he's working on all those things, and he'll continue to do that for the rest of his life. Much like Brady, I didn't mention him because I'm sure he was as maniacal about those little things every offseason too.
Yeah.
But he doesn't necessarily have to throw for 5,050 touchdowns or 45 touchdowns. I think for him, if he just cuts down on the interceptions and he hits the plays that are there when he feels that it's the right play, then that'll be success for him, and I think he'll be comfortable. It won't be because of a number, a statistic of 5,000 or 50 touchdowns.
Somebody asked a question for Nick. They said, how many games you think the Chiefs going to win this fall?
I don't. I mean, obviously the schedule comes out in a week. We already know who their opponents are, but I think 13 wins. I think they have 13 wins on that schedule. I think that's probably going to be enough to win the division. But I got them 13-4. Unless they have one of these, they play 4 out of 6 to start the season on the road, and they're all good quality teams. There's no patsies in there. That might be a little bit problematic. That means they'll have more home games at the end of the year. But the home schedule, Weston makes it. The home schedule is brutal, but the good news is those teams are playing in Kansas City. And I still think Arrowhead has a huge advantage over some other places. And again, the fans are knowledgeable. They know what to do out there and be that 12th man.
So they have the NFC East.
Yeah, they've got the the Commanders East, and the Eagles at home.
And then in the AFC, there's a division that they normally will.
Yeah, they play the Bills on the road, and I think the rest of them are.
They play all the champions regardless. So they'll play the Bills, they'll play the Texans, and they'll play the Ravens. But they also, depending on which one of those divisions they have this year, will play the other teams below them.
Yeah, they have Baltimore, Detroit, Houston, and at home, Washington, Philadelphia, as mentioned, Indianapolis. The road games are Buffalo, Dallas.
So it must be the South, the AFC South, the division champions, and then the AFC East, and then the 6 games against the division.
It looks it's the AFC South this year.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the South.
So with that said, I give my prediction when we do the schedule release, because I know what I'm gonna, say. I know how many wins they're gonna have, and everybody in the chat probably know how many wins I think they're gonna have. But other than that, man, hey, we want to thank you guys for joining in.
Yeah, we should do a road trip to Dallas. I think that's a must. We'll find out. Maybe the Chiefs play on Thanksgiving in Dallas. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It'd be great for the league.
One of the greatest things to see, and I don't know if you guys are fans of Frank Caliendo. There's a YouTube or whatever. There's a clip out there, him doing Gruden going down the Raiders schedule when he was still the coach there.
It was great.
Frank's
the best.
He's just really funny, and Gruden's probably the best impression.
But you already know the Chargers going to win the schedule release. They do every year for me.
Their digital team is top notch.
Yeah, we'll see. So they got a pretty brutal schedule too.
With that said, guys, we'll see you guys Friday. We got Fact and Cap. We're gonna be talking about some more stuff that's going around the AFC and NFL and concerning your Kansas City Chiefs. So with that said, we want to thank everybody for joining in. King Mo, Ruben,
Gabe Davis is out there.
DS, Robin, King Mo. If I missed you, we love you. So
Cousin
with that
Robert,
said,
where are you, Cousin Robert? There you go. That's right.
He's in there. So with that said, guys, we'll see you guys Friday at 1:30.
Hold it to Friday, Robert. Hold it to Friday.
Hold on, but the niggas muted. So with that said, we'll see you guys Friday at 1:30.
Peace out.
Mhm.